Good evening and welcome back to South Florida Hockey. Decided since this is the Kelly Cup playoffs that we would do this as a live session versus a guess how many takes because I have a tendency to occasionally stutter video. Tonight, the Florida Everblades defeat the Jacksonville Icemen 3-2 in 5v5 playoff overtime since 60 minutes didn't happen to be enough tonight. In the first period, Jacksonville happened to take an early 2-0 lead, one of those being a Jacksonville power play goal, which was very, very annoying and honestly an upset to start the game off with. However, the Florida Everblades happened to turn around and get themselves on the board, answering one of those two goals with a power play goal of their own by Justin Auger, assisted by Matt Finn and Downing. Can't remember his first name, at 12:52 of the first period. However, those would be the only goals of the first and second periods. There was a nice little scuffle at the end of the second that was quite entertaining to watch. I wish I would have gotten some video footage of that. However, I do not. On top of that, we had a few good hits. It was really, really gritty kind of game that we had, but that's normal for playoff hockey this time of year. My wife did say something about trying to, I don't see how I would, looking for the option in here. She said something about having a way to turn around and do what is known as a screen share, but I guess that's not through normal live here. I'll have her show it to me some other time. I'm going into the third period with the Florida Everblades. It was a lot of nothing for the first 7 minutes, just a lot of back and forth, until Finn turns around and hammers one home, assisted by Marcella and John McCarron, the captain, to put us at a tie game, which turned around and completely reinvigorated the arena. I mean, it was dead silent throughout I wouldn't say dead silent, but it was pretty quiet through the second period, even being right there at the sin bin with family. And I mean, you could tell we were just like, what is going on here? But after that third period game tying goal, things heated up in there. The arena got loud for the fact that there is nothing in the way of, I won't say nothing, but I mean, the arena is half empty, being that it's a Thursday night. So you're not going to have the kind of crowd you would on a Saturday. Plus, it's game one of the playoffs, so not a lot of people are out right now. But that was the only goal of the third period. Sorry, I keep wanting to say second. It was the only goal of the third period, which tied the game, and then there was 13 minutes of back and forth yet again. Nothing really major going on. I mean, a couple of penalties here and there. Otherwise, a couple of close scuffles, but otherwise, that would do it for the regulation gameplay for tonight's game one. Going into the the fourth period, the 5v5 playoff overtime here. It was a very tight-knit, a lot of major saves by both goaltenders, by both teams. I mean, it was a seat of your pants game. I'm not going to lie. This was just simply an amazing, amazing game, especially to kick off the Kelly Cup playoffs. And they didn't timestamp it, but I want to say it was about 4 minutes, 5 minutes into the, it was later than that. I'm sorry. No, it was about 4 or 5 minutes into the overtime period that Mingo, who I love calling, what's his name? Blazing Saddles, Mungo, the big kind of semi-retarded guy. Or Mongo, there's what it is. Mongo gets penalized for high sticking in the overtime. It's like that's probably the number one time you do not want to take a penalty to save your life. I mean, even though it's 5v5, being that it's playoff hockey, you still don't want to take that penalty because all it takes is for that penalty, that power play unit to score that goal, and the game is done. It didn't end on that. And, oh, my God. Sorry. I didn't expect it to play the sound. But in the coming off of an absolutely glorious passing sequence from Finn and Platzer, I think it's Michael Downing. I'll have to look later. But Downing scores the overtime winner at 6:59 of the fourth period and happens to take the first start of the game, which I cannot blame you. I mean, that's a heck of a thing to go. I mean, just some minor stats coming out of that game. The Everblades, of course, won with 3 goals to the Jacksonville Icemen's 2. The Florida Everblades had 36 shots on goal to the Icemen's 21. Our power play converted 2 out of 3 times, whereas Jacksonville 1 out of 3. Penalty minutes were even at 13 across the board, but Jeremy Helvig tonight, oh my Lord, he and the Blades, I mean, some of the saves that Jeremy Helvig made tonight, I wish I had video footage of because they were just absolutely insane. I mean, we're talking the kind of things that need to go on a highlight reel, just how insane they actually are. That's just, and this is just game 1. I mean, this is the South Division semifinals. We're not even talking the division finals, the conference finals, or even the cup, and we're already seeing some absolutely insane play coming out of the Florida Everblades. Now, on the other side of house, unfortunately, the Carolina Hurricanes tonight happened to fall 4-2 in game 1 in Washington to the Washington Capitals. Our rookie of the year, by and large, Andrei Svechnikov, tallied not one, but both goals during that game. Let me see if I can find it here. As I said, I was at the Everblades game, which is the ECHL affiliate of the Carolina Hurricanes. And so, I mean, and the fact that I don't have cable, I can't sit here and watch the games live because I found out tonight that it's going to be a national blackout on these games if you're trying to stream from NHL.tv. So anybody that wants to try and catch these games using the NHL streaming service, hey, fair warning, you're going to have to wait till the next day, if not 2 days, if they follow the 48-hour blackout. Very annoying, but it is what it is. I mean, I get it. It's the Stanley Cup Finals. They want people to watch it on national television. So, I mean, there's always Twitter for me to be able to catch all these recaps, like Andrei Svechnikov's first goal of the game, which happened to be, he comes around and just snipes the thing in through a goalie screen off of the right circle. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful shot. Looking at the GIF here, I wish I knew how to do the screen share so I could show you guys. But I mean, this is Svechnikov, just to let you know. I mean, this is after they started off on a 3-0. I mean, they started off 3-0 after the first period. I mean, I thought it was going to be an absolute murder run after seeing the numbers out of the first after the first period, let alone the second period, which nothing actually happened. I mean, looking at this here, it's just like the Blades game. We had all this scoring in the first period, then we went into the second, no scoring whatsoever, and then we go into the third period. Svechnikov gets the Hurricanes on the board. This kid is 19 years old. This is his first season in the National Hockey League. And this rookie has turned around, gotten to the playoffs in his first year, and makes not one but two goals in the first season he has ever played and in the playoffs. I mean, this guy's going places. He's got a lot of potential coming. His second, let me see here. Yeah, I got to watch the replay of this. Oh my God. He just trying to pinpoint where it happens. I'm trying to find him on here because I can't see it on. Trying to see where he comes up, gets it on a pass, and again just hammers it in from the right circle onto and beats the Capitals goaltender just out of the right face-off circle, which is an incredible feat. I mean, as everybody knows, that's Alex Ovechkin's office, as they call it. Sorry, and that's where the bulk of his goals come from during the regular season. And now, I mean, unfortunately, they pulled Mrazek with 2.5 minutes left in regulation, and the Capitals happened to capitalize and sealed the deal with a empty net goal, putting them up 4-2 with 2.5 minutes left. I mean, that would have taken close to an act of God to come around and come back from a special. But I mean, we're talking the National Hockey League Stanley Cup playoffs in this. We have seen some insanity come out of these playoffs. I mean, in 1936, we saw the Detroit Red Wings and Montreal. They weren't the Canadiens at the time. Let me find it here. Stanley Cup playoffs. Where is it here? The Red Wings that year, spoiler, they turned around and won it. However, the semifinals is when it happened. It was the Detroit Red Wings versus, at the time, the Montreal Maroons. We're talking 1936. We're talking original 6 days here. But that semifinals, where is it? Here it is. On March 24th of 1936, the Detroit Red Wings and Montreal Maroons went to a whopping 6 overtimes, setting a league record with this. We're talking 6 overtimes. You're talking this game went on for the equivalent of 4 hockey games, because you had 3 regular periods and 6 overtime periods. I mean, that's 6 overtime periods is 2 additional games. I'm sorry, that's 3 hockey games, but still, it's 11:30 at night. I should be in bed, but I decided to do this live stream instead because I wanted to get this out there tonight versus getting it out there later on. But that was the equivalent of 3 hockey games, setting a National Hockey League record that has never been broken. I don't think any series has come that close since. But these things do happen in the playoffs. I mean, you start seeing some of the strangest things. You see some unusual goals, very creative goals. You see a lot of fighting naturally, especially in the first round where everybody's really vying to set their tones. I mean, Carolina Hurricanes included, Florida Everblades included, which we saw tonight. However, I'm going to cut this off before I continue rambling about the playoffs. The Carolina Hurricanes, though, let me pull it up here. I already closed my window on my computer, so I got to look this up on my phone here. Where is it here? Playoffs, round 2 matchups. The next game for the Carolina Hurricanes will be, again, Saturday the 13th, along with the Florida Everblades game 2, Saturday the 13th. Carolina Hurricanes will be playing again in Washington at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. the Florida Everblades will be playing at Hertz Arena at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Both games, as far as I know, well, I don't think you can stream. I don't know about the ECHL.TV streaming. They might have it allow it since it's not a nationally covered. I don't subscribe to ECHL TV. I might next season for the Blades as a season ticket holder for those games I cannot make. But I know that the Carolina Hurricanes Capitals game in Washington at 3 p.m. will be streamed on NBC, which means John Forsland will be covering this because he got the call up for NBC. Anyway, out there in Hockeyland, this is Chris from South Florida Hockey Watch. You guys have a good night and expect another video probably this Saturday or sometime on Sunday.